I find that as well in the area of the things that we strive for, the goals that we strive for in this world. And we can very easily fall into the I've accomplished things, I've amassed certain things. It's easier I think sometimes to look at the pride idea as only those that are the millionaires or the billionaires, but that can happen even on a lower level, if you will. You know, I paid off all my debts. I don't owe money on my car. Look what I've been able to do. And we can work hard to accomplish, and God can grant the grace for those things to accomplish. But the reminder for me has always been you come into the world with nothing and you're leaving the world with nothing. There are no U-Hauls attached to the back of the hearse on the way to the cemetery. We don't take anything with us except how we have cooperated with God's grace or not. And there's something very humbling in that. I can think I've accomplished things with in the past when I was competing in weightlifting or some other sport. Look at my records. Look what I set. I've got this in the weight room, and look what I've done here. And then, as one old powerlifter said one time, all powerlifting records become is arthritis. Eventually, it all goes away, and pretty soon, Father, you could probably attest to this, that a lot of the football players in the past, well, they played in some ways, the restrictions and the rules were a little different and they've put more rules in to try to preserve their bodies and their lives more. And I remember seeing a report of a guy who gets up and he says it took him, he was a former NFL player, 10 to 15 minutes literally to get out of bed every morning because his body was so broken down. And some of these guys are on, pain pills and such to survive. There's something that says, in the heyday of my life, look what I've accomplished. Look how great I am. Look at all that I've amassed. No one escapes time. No one escapes that everything is going to fade. Good friend of mine, Eric Genis, an amazing musician. There's nothing he can't play on a piano. He's a concert pianist. He said one time to his kids, "You see this beautiful baby grand piano that we have? I mean, it's his job, it's his work. He's got a baby grand." And his kids said, "Yeah." He said, "You know where this is going to end up one day?" He said, "Where?" He said, "In a landfill." Eventually, everything goes away. And there's something, Patrick, I'd like your thought on that because I think there's something very humbling in that reality that no matter what we think we've accomplished, what we think our looks, our beauty, our talents, our gifts, our money, our victories, finances, whatever it is, there's not one of us that takes any of it with us. And last point is this, as the saying goes, eventually gravity wins. I mean, not just that we end up in the ground, but the wrinkles. I mean, the body, the beauty fades. This is in scripture. There has to be a sense of humility that with what God gives me at this moment in time, as you mentioned earlier, give back to glorify God and do the best you can to cooperate with his grace in the moment that you have and with what you have. But nothing goes with us. We can't hold on to anything. And eventually, we'll probably all be forgotten anyway, in one way, shape, or form, unless God decides to have us canonized by the church and such and so forth. But your thoughts on what I said?
Yeah. No, you hit the again. I was gonna say you hit the nail on your head, but I said that earlier. But hummus, humility, and one of the root words is hummus, right? And that means earth. And it really is like we are going to die someday. We will be buried, and we take nothing
Remember
with
your
us.
dust.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and our virtues are really the only thing, and those come, those are obviously us cooperating with God. Like we don't just
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm going to become humble. We should pray for humility. A lot of people are afraid to pray for humility because they think, well, God's going to humiliate you. Often he allows that to happen, but we should pray. Like we should ask God. The greatest thing that I say, in the book with Father Calloway on the virtues is we should ask the saints for a share in their humility. Like ask Our Lady, give me a share of your humility.